Hi, welcome back to Carla Astrology. I'm Carla. Today, next in the series with the Palms and Myers-Briggs, we are moving on to the INFP, which is called the mediator. Um, and now this personality type, I will use Carl Jung's association with the Page of Cups because there is a lot of water in this personality. In fact, I believe that the hand type will, if it's not rectangular with long fingers, then I believe it could look more like an air hand and have a lot of little lines on it. So it's going to be a mix between a air hand and a water hand. Um, Again, with the youthful personality, you're going to see a larger bottom palm. So, I like ideally the fire hand has like a square rectangular palm with a large bottom, but I think that you might see variations in that in this personality. So, I do believe it will have a wider bottom. So it could be either square or rectangular, but I think that that's going to be a dominant um, in all of the page association. So it's like anything that starts with a I and anything that ends with a P. So again, so we have the INFP. So the INFP is introverted. They are intuitive, very feeling, and very perceiving. So these people are extremely emphatic. Not only are they empathic, they're emphatic. So I mean, they feel everything, and not always do they know what to do with that. So that's going to cause all those little stress lines in their hands. Um, so their mounts, because they are empathetic, I believe Venus and the moon are going to be large. Let's see. Let's take a look at our. So Venus, which is right here, is going to be pretty fat. And same with the moon. I think that both of those will be good size mounts. I believe that they're open-minded and they're creative. So, they might have a large Saturn also, like in here between Apollo and Saturn. You might see some lumpiness right there too. And they can be healers. So you're going to see some of those healer lines, like the healer lines underneath the pinky finger. Again, you're going to see the grill. And if your headline and your lifeline aren't touching, my guess is even if they're wide, you're going to see the little X's in here because those are a sign of struggles. So I think you'll see, again, a lot of fine lines. Auspiciously, like the squares and the stars and stuff, those are more in, not that you could definitely find that in any personality, but we see those more like as we're manifesting and we're working on things. So the pages, if you're still in that youthful type, naive type mindset, you might not see those right away, but you can definitely, because our hands change all the time. You could be later in a stage of life to where you are more, let's see, learning your lessons, taking everything, and using it, So, I believe that the headline or the heart line is going to be curved. I think it's going to be fairly long, and I think it's going to point more towards Jupiter because I believe that these are very loyal personalities. Um, they are very passionate. So it could point here in the middle. But I do believe that it will be curved because these are people that are very or could be emotional. Just because they're not showing it doesn't mean that they're not feeling it. And I believe that the headline is going to be curved, and it might be curved actually more downward sometimes. Like we want to see it like maybe straighten all the way across, but sometimes you might see an added line to where these people might be too much in their head, maybe a little bit lost of reality, you know. And so you might see like either the line itself is curving severely down, or you might see an extra line coming off of it curving down, because, you know, here is your moon, and that's where we're our imagination and our intuition is very prominent, and it's also where you find all that creativity. So that line could point towards the moon. Like I said, Saturn and the sun I think will be well developed. Let's see, what else am I think that they're going to have all of these last personalities, I believe, are either going to have conic or maybe even some square tips, because, you know, they can be practical, but they're more idealistic. I do believe they'll be more like a bulbous or a spatulate. So let me see if I have, you know, because these are my drawings. My drawings kind of suck. Oh, this is the one I was talking about. Like, if you find they are gapped between the lifeline and the headline, I think you'll see many X's, which shows, you know, struggles in the childhood, which have led you to be a little bit more introverted. Ooh, and they could even have some pointed fingertips. You know, a lot of your psychics have pointed fingertips. Now, an extreme water hand would have all pointed fingertips. Square, maybe a little bit. More conic, like the thumb I think will be conic, or the thumb will be spatulate. So, like when I say spatulate, it's almost like the fingertips are a little bit more like they're bigger at the tip than they are, you know, like conic is very rounded, and conic is like this, but you know, spatulate is a little bit wider at the top. So I think that we will see that mainly because, you know, along with the water and the in these personalities, again, there's that fire. So like I said, a true fire hand, and regardless of your Myers-Briggs, is going to have that fat bottom, and it's going to show in the fingertips. And these two mounts right here, your inner and outer, are going to be pretty well developed. So Venus is another one. That's where you find your sexuality, your generosity, and your physical vitality. So I think that kind of goes with all these personality types too. I think that's all I have for this one. You know, their weaknesses are, again, that they could be unrealistic, self-isolating, and unfocused. So that's where you will see the lifeline is going to, like, or not the lifeline, excuse me. The headline is going to dip, and it's going to dip down into the moon. So, and if you're like, if like this here is my potential. So, and this one is what I've done with it. This is my right hand. This is my dominant hand. So, you know, somebody that they might have an extra line that might be going down, or if they've worked on it, they might have some finer lines coming, or they might have a very deep line going across their hand. But because this is the headline, but the heart line itself is where you find your you know, your emotional response and how you treat love. So that one's going to be nice and curved. The straighter it is, the less in touch with your emotions you are. So someone who's unrealistic is going to show more in their headline. Now, mine is not real long. It is, but it's like very faint at the end. And mine does dip down into this a little bit. And believe me, sometimes I can get lost in my imagination. Um, so yeah, that's it. Um, I hope you will join me in the next personality type. And the next one will be the ISTP. All right. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I love you.